Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a company whose name sounds like a typo, but hopefully their finances are not. Get ready to decode some potentially confusing crypto jargon. Here today we're looking at DeFi Development Corp or DFDV and their annual report. The big story, this report is an amendment, meaning they had to fix something from their original filing. They're fixing a mistake about how well they're handling their money and paperwork. It might sound boring, but it's super important. It's like finding out your house's foundation has cracks. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss financial filings, Scroll Form 10K SID Tim Amendment 1 Scroll. This isn't their first try. They are fixing the original report they sent to the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, back in March. It's like submitting a homework assignment and your teacher says, needs improvement. This new form is here to give a better description of if they're handling their finances correctly. The main issue here is something called internal control over financial reporting. Think of it as the company's system for making sure its financial statements are accurate and reliable. It's like having a good system in place to avoid mistakes when you're balancing your checkbook. The company admits their system wasn't working perfectly at the end of last year. This means there's a risk some of the numbers they reported might not be completely right. They said that based on their analysis, their system to check their finances was not working well as of December. Scroll Management's report on internal control CUD over financial report Scroll. It's management's job to set up and keep a good internal control system. This system is supposed to make sure the company's financial reports are trustworthy. It also checks if the company is using its money properly. Scroll reasonable assurance regarding the reliability of financial CAL reporting. Scroll internal controls are like having strong locks on your doors. It ensures that money and assets are safe. However, it's not a perfect system, and sometimes things can still go wrong. The report mentions some weaknesses that were discovered. Scroll material weaknesses in internal control. Over to financial report Scroll, these are not just small errors, they're material weaknesses, meaning they're big enough that they could lead to significant mistakes in the financial statements. This is what made them file this amendment in the first place. A material weakness could lead to financial statements being wrong. The company says it didn't have a good system to assess risks, design controls, and monitor everything. Also, they didn't have enough controls over their computer systems. IT controls ensure that only the right people have access to important data. Finally, they didn't have enough people in their accounting department to properly divide up the work. Scroll did not maintain a sufficient complement of formally documented general IT control, general enough staff and dividing work, avoids a single person doing everything, which can cause errors. This is important because companies need enough qualified people to check the numbers properly. Scroll hired 3 additional members of the accounting and finance department. Cough an example, Scroll example, N Scroll T. To fix these problems, the company is working on adding staff, improving financial reporting processes, and documenting their IT controls. It will take some time for these changes to fully work. They've already hired 3 more people for accounting and finance, for example. Scroll changes in internal control over financial reporting during last year. There haven't been any changes in the internal control procedures that had major effects. They're trying to improve their financial reporting, but it has been a work in progress. Scroll attestation report of independent registered each war. Public accounting firm Scroll K, because they are a smaller company, they don't have to have their accounting firm confirm that their internal controls are working. The aggregate market value of the registrant's common stock held by non-affiliates of the registrant on June 30, 2024, the last business day of the registrant's most recently completed second fiscal quarter, was last business day of the registrant's most recently completed second fiscal quarter was a million. This is the aggregate market value of their common stock. Jumping to the consolidated statement of operations, it shows how much money the company made or lost during the year. For the year ended December 31, they have negative revenue showing 782, in 22,432 in 2024, and negative revenue of 666,643. The company spent a significant amount of money on operating expenses. Under the expenses, you see that general and administrative expenses of $3,748 for 2020, $81,728. General and administrative expenses increased significantly. The report needs to be signed by people in the company. In this case, it was signed by the CEO and CFO. They declare the report to be factual to the best of their knowledge. So what's the overall picture here? DeFi Development Corp is fessing up to weaknesses in how they manage their finances. It's like admitting you need to take better care of your car and it needs to be fixed. The good news is they're taking steps to fix it, hiring more people and improving processes. The bad news is it will take time and there's no guarantee everything will be perfect. They had very low revenue and their expenses increased quite a bit. For investors, this means a bit of a bumpy ride. There's a risk of more mistakes in the future until these problems are resolved. It might be a good idea to keep a close eye on how they're doing and whether they're actually fixing these weaknesses. They need to be more careful with their finances. They need to start generating revenue. Alright, that's our breakdown of DeFi Development Corp's amended filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.